Let's get started with Subnautica, survival and adventure game, developed by Unknown Worlds. I am going to start a new survival mode game and create a beginner's guide. I'll walk through the important early game items and tools that will make your survival much easier. We'll gather food, water, and resources and learn how to deal with a common predator. The game is still in early access with the current build April 2017.
Greetings, survivor. Great job not dying. To assist you in further survival in emergency situations, you have been issued as personal data assistant. The interface visible now will organize your inventory, display currently available construction blueprints, and holds other valuable information. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with it.
So now that the fire's out, we can look around the life pod. This is going to be your home for the start of the game. Over here you can see that the life pod systems are damaged. It says use repair tool to fix. So we're going to craft a repair tool, but we can't do that right yet. We have to gather the ingredients. Your communications relay is also damaged and you need to fix that. Periodically you're going to get messages over here and it will help you to explore and advance the storyline. This is your med cabinet. Right now there's nothing in there. This will regenerate health kits about every half hour. So try to take them out so a new one can regenerate. If there's one in there, it won't regenerate a new one. And you're going to need some. Over here we got a little bit of extra storage. It has 2 bottles of water, and these are small bottles. Only gives you plus 20 to water, so 20% of your water. And nutrient blocks to eat. These give you at least 75%. And those go fast. Water goes really fast in this game, so we're going to want to get on getting some water here pretty soon. I'm going to take that out and put it in my main inventory. And I'll take 1 food. This is your fabricator. This works kind of like a futuristic 3D printer. You can make all kinds of tools and items in here. Building materials. And there will be more stuff added as you go out and discover things. So to get started right off the bat, there's 3 things, other than the food we're going to get to after. There's 3 items that are very useful to get you started. So let's go down here, personal, tools. You're going to want a survival knife. This will help you to take samples of items and also maybe fight off some attacks. There's some aggressive fish out there. So you need silicone rubber and titanium. So this gives you your ingredients right here. But silicone rubber isn't something that you go and find, it's something you make. For silicone rubber you need creepvine seed clusters times 2. So we're going to collect some of that because we're going to need a lot of silicone rubber. So another thing we want to make are some swim fins.
Attention.
And those
detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with ongoing degradation of the Aurora's dark matter drive core due to damage sustained during collision. Continuing to monitor.
So you're going to want to make some swim fins. You'll be able to swim a little faster. You don't have much oxygen right now, so the faster you can get up and down in the waters, the better. And those also take silicone rubber, but you need 2. So another thing we're going to want to make is an oxygen tank. This will allow you to stay underwater much longer. So right now, by default, you can only stay down for 45 seconds. So the oxygen tank will increase that time. And that takes glass and 2 pieces of titanium. Glass is made from quartz. So this is what we're going to have to go find right now. We're going to need some creepvine clusters, some quartz, and some titanium. And you're going to need titanium all through the game. It's an important part for building all your items. So let's go outside the pod. We'll start looking for our stuff. And you can go out through the bottom here if you want, or go out through the top.
The Aurora suffered catastrophic hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected in 100-meter range.
So there's your crash ship, and there's very high radiation levels over there. You don't want to go over there yet. Eventually you're going to go and explore that, but you can't even get in.
Uncharted ocean planet. Oxygen, nitrogen atmosphere. Water contamination high.
So you can't even get inside it if you were to go there yet. But you're going to need a radiation suit, and that's something that's fairly easy to make. So until you repair this pod, it can drift. It will hold its location once it's repaired. So it's kind of important to get it repaired. You can use it as a landmark. You start to know what's around it when you're looking for things. So let's open up our PDA. Here's our ping manager. We can track the life pod. There it is. You can change the color of it to whatever you like. Or you can turn it off altogether until you need it. I'm going to turn it back on. So night's coming. This isn't the best time to be out here.
Life pods are equipped with a fabricator programmed to construct tools and render organic substances edible.
I'm going to eat something because my food level is very low, as you can see down there in the bottom left. So I'm going to eat a nutrient block. So now I'm back to full. And I'm going to drink 1 water. So right now, let's start working on getting some silicone rubber and some titanium. So now that it's dark, it's a little harder to see, but the creepvine plants, sometimes you can see them sticking out of the water, so they're easier to find. They just look like some seaweed, more or less. We can grab some fish on the way also, so you can simply just swim up to a fish and grab it.
Discovered. Alien life forms may have unexpected characteristics and applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
So this fish here is a bladderfish, and we need one of those
New creature discovered.
to make some water. And peepers, those big-eyed fish, those are probably about the best ones to eat. They give you a lot of food, more than the bladderfish. So save the bladderfish for water, and there's also some items to craft with bladderfish. And they don't last forever. You have limited time.
Oxygen.
Now I'm holding this in my hand because there's an aggressive fish called a stalker, and the stalker will pull the fish out of your hand before it would attack you. So this is kind of a defensive play. Now I can see some creepvine clusters coming up. And stalkers like to hang out in the creepvines. So be aware of that. There's also these other little bloodsuckers that can latch onto your arm. And I would also recommend, something I didn't do, is take a health kit with you. A stalker can kill you in about 4 hits, or bites. Alright, so these little yellow pods on here, these are the seed pods, the seed clusters. They take up a lot of inventory space, but grab as many as you can because you're going to need quite a bit of the silicone rubber. Alright, I think I have room for about 3 more.
Oxygen.
And I'm getting low on air. I have to make a run to the surface. And you can drown. If you're down here just past, when your air runs out, you will die. So I was really close there. So I have room for 2 more, and I want to get them while I'm out here. Then we'll come back and grab some titanium. Alright, that's all I can carry. Head back to the pod. You can also eat these fish raw. Gives you 18 plus 18 food, but minus 7 water. So you don't want to do that because it's going to make you thirsty. Once you cook them, the nutritional values change. Okay, so let's go over to our fabricator. I want to do the food first. So see, it says here I can make filtered water, and it calls for a bladderfish. Looks like I have enough for 3. It's 1 per water. And I can also cook. I could have cooked the bladderfish, but you're better off cooking the peeper.
The fabricator cooks.
You can also make salted food
while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
You can also make cured fish. So you need some salt for that, and then it will last longer. This fish right now that I just made, this will start to rot very quickly, and it'll become useless. It'll make you thirsty. So it already is dropping. Now it's plus 31 food and plus 4 water. So I'll take it now. I didn't really need to eat food right yet, but I had it just for the sake of doing it. So here's some waters I made from the bladderfish. So let's go back in here. We're going to make our silicone rubber. Make up as much as you can here. Now you're limited on storage space, so you can't really stockpile things the way you really would like to. Later in the game, you can create all the storage you want. Okay, so I made 5 silicone rubbers. Now I can make swim fins. That's going to use up 2 of them. Okay, so you're going to have to equip those. Well, they went in automatically, but over here is your items. And you can equip an air tank, and you can carry a spare air tank also if you want to stay down even longer. So what I need right now, I want to finish my knife. Yeah, it's under tools, my survival knife. So I have the silicone, I need titanium. And for the air tank, I need glass and titanium. So glass is made from quartz. So all I need to go get now is some quartz and some titanium. So let's go do that. I'm going to go out the bottom this time. Okay, so the easiest way to get titanium, instead of just searching for it in outcrops, is find pieces of wreckage like this. Metal salvage. It takes up 4 spots in your inventory, and it will return 4 pieces of titanium. So there's a couple right here. I'm going to grab those, so now I'm going to have 8 pieces of titanium.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may cause a quantum detonation. Calculating risk assessment. Death by malnourishment.
Alright, so create the titanium. It's going to break down the salvage.
11%. By exposure to radioactive crash site materials. 19%. If the drive core is breached, probability of death increases to 65%.
So go back to your tools. And now my survival knife's ready to go. Now survival knives will wear down and break on you.
From standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. As an essential survival tool for 2.5 million years, the knife remains the only exception. Sorry about that.
So there's no weapons, they've been outlawed. Except knives, apparently. I'm going to actually make a second knife right now. I can make more, don't need it. I'm going to put one in my storage here as a spare, because this will will break, I'm sure. Right now it's 100% durability, but as you use it, it's going to break down. So I have titanium. Let's go find some quartz. And that's just going to be laying around the seabed. Here's a piece right here. Just click on it, pick it up. So at least now I'm moving a little faster with my swim fins on. And I'm going to put my knife in. You can fend off a stalker with a couple hits or even one hit from your knife. So he'll run away, leave you alone for a little while. But they are dangerous, you got to keep an eye out for them.
Oxygen.
So I want to get a couple more quartz. Because I know I'm going to need glass for something else after. And see if there's any outcrops. See, like right down here, this limestone. You might find a limestone, a sandstone, or basalt, depending on what depth you are. And you just have to hit it. You don't even need anything in your hand. You just hit it with your click. So I just got a piece of titanium out of it. But you might find copper or lead in the limestone. In sandstone, you might have something different. In basalt, you might find gold or a diamond. All right, let's see if we can find a little more quartz. I have 3 quartz. I want at least one more. Here's some. All right, let's head back. Do some more crafting. So I want to make some glass out of that quartz. So I have enough for 2 pieces of glass. And now I can make an oxygen tank. Glass and titanium. See, now I have 75 seconds of air instead of 45. I could make even another one. I'm not going to do it right now, though, because I need this glass for something else. But 75 seconds is plenty for these shallow depths that I'm staying in. Let's see where that is. So that went in. You could carry it over here, any extra ones. I heard that they might be changing that, because there will be upgradable air tanks later. And I read that possibly they're going to be doing away with letting you carry extra tanks and just have an upgradable air tank. So we'll see, that might be in a future update. So we're in pretty good shape right now. We have a little bit of food. Actually, I'm out of food. All right, let's go get some food. Let's go get some salt and some fish so we can have some food to back us up. We need salt for water, and we need salt for fish. So in order to make some water, the larger ones, not the small ones from the bladderfish, you need some coral samples. So come over to a big piece of coral like this, a coral tube, hit it with your knife. You can see you're picking up these coral samples. And this is going to be part of the water making process. Okay, so let's go and find some salt and then catch some fish. Salt can be found in a lot of areas at a lot of different depths. You can usually see it. It's about as easy to see as quartz. So there's a quartz there. Don't want that right now. So you usually see it from a pretty good distance. Once we get some food back stocked up, then we're going to get on to making like a scanner and get that repair tool. And I'm not finding any salt here. Sometimes it's easier than others. There's more quartz. Oh, here's something. Okay, so these things that look like manatees, you want to avoid those. They're not hostile, but they do give off a poison from their tail, and it will kill you. So don't get too close to them. We want something here. You see these little pink things on this rock that are stuck to it? call them floaters. I like to keep that in my first slot. I don't really need this fire extinguisher right now. So what the floater does, it's kind of like a buoyancy device. You can swim a little faster when you're above water, and I believe it will help you rise up a little quicker too when you're underwater. So I'm going to carry that. See if we can find some salt. There's a thing, you can make an air bladder later on when you find the recipe for it or the blueprints, and it will really help you rise very quickly. There's a stalker. Now he's dangerous. I'm going to put my knife in so I can fend off an attack. Right now he's not showing any hostility, but don't trust him. They're called stalker for a reason. Alright, I'm going to go and hit him with my knife. Try to scare him away.
Warning, local radiation readings exhibit characteristics consistent with total degradation of the Aurora's dark matter drive core. A quantum detonation will occur with a probability of 85.5%. Advise observing a 1 kilometer safety range.
If you see any of these things here, purple brain coral, they give off air bubbles. So if you're underwater and there's one near you, you can come over and replenish your air supply. So it just filled me back up. So that's kind of handy. They're not everywhere though. Okay, here's a piece of salt, finally. And here's another one. Keep an eye out for that stalker. There's 2 of them. And they're getting a little closer than I'd like.
30 seconds.
Get some air. So another thing you can do with them, you put this away. See, some fish you can't catch. But like peepers, you get a peeper. Alright, so the stalker will take this. And if you feed a stalker, he won't be hostile toward you for a little while. It's not indefinite though. He'll come back around and he'll try to get you again eventually. Here's some salt. You grab another peeper. So even if you don't see him coming, if he comes to attack you even from behind, he's going to get that fish instead of getting you. Alright, I'm going to go back with just my 3 pieces of salt. Grab this health kit too. Alright, so now another one will start to regenerate. So what we can do is if you make some bleach, this takes salt and that coral. Now with that bleach you can make water. Basically it's purifying the water for you. So this small one's from the bladderfish, and the large water, 12 ounce, uses the bleach. Alright, so now we have 1 large water, plus 40%, 20% on the small. I want to make some fish. So over here, I can cure it with salt. So I'm just going to cure 1. And I'm going to cook the other one regular, because I need to eat one now anyways. Now there's a difference in how these turn out. So the cooked one's going to give me 32, actually it's changing, 32 and 5 for the water. The salted one is 32, but it's -2 water. But this will last a long time. It's not going to rot and go bad right away. Let me eat that. So now I can save this as long as I want. I can start stocking these up. I have one more, I didn't even realize. I better cook that one. Oops. I'm going to salt it. Alright, so I do need some water about now. I'm going to drink 2 of the small ones. Actually, I may as well take 3. So I really need to get some more salt, make some more water, or catch some bladderfish. Now, one thing I noticed, let me go back out. I noticed when I came back, and it's hard to tell now because it's nighttime, but this pod did drift some. I could tell by some of the areas, some of the things near it, some of the landmarks. There's a big coral tube that was right next to it. So I need to work on repairing this. So next I want to make some batteries. Batteries go in a lot of your tools, and I don't have any tools right now that are electronic. So to make batteries, let's go back in. Batteries need acid mushrooms and copper ore. So the acid mushrooms are really easy to get. The copper ore might take a little searching. So I want to get enough to make at least 2 batteries. So I need 2 copper ores and 4 acid mushrooms. So here's some acid mushrooms right here. I'm just going to grab 4 of them. You have limited inventory, otherwise I would take a bunch of them. So now let's see if we can find a couple coppers. So here's an outcrop. Limestone, so that potentially could have a copper in here. And copper, excellent, okay.
Component of all powered equipment. Your probability of emergency has just increased by 11%. A quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core.
Okay, that
The
one was
central
lead.
dark matter reactor will reach a supercritical state in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7.
There's going to be an explosion.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, so now that that happened, now you can get inside. But you're still going to need a radiation suit. Okay, so let's make a battery. Make 2. I have a use for 2 of them right now. Alright, so the next thing I want to make is a scanner. This is one of your most important pieces of equipment. This allows you to create blueprints from wreckage. You can also learn about plant life and animal life by scanning them. So that takes a battery and titanium, which I already have. The flashlight, this is also handy. This is a battery and glass, which I made the glass earlier when I was doing it for the air tank. So I'm going to make both these right now.
The handheld spectroscope scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvaged technology and to record alien biological data.
Flashlight. Okay, so let's get those assigned. Well, it looks like they assigned them for me. So the scanner, now it will let you know. It'll let you know when something's scannable. See, so right now I can't scan anything. So when there's a scannable item, it will act differently. The flashlight. So there's our flash. Now here's something. When I first started playing, I didn't even know. Now these have a replaceable battery. So right now it's 99% power. If you hit R, kind of like reload, you'll see the battery. And if you have a spare battery, you'll be able to change it out. So you can also hang on to your old batteries because later in the game you're going to be able to make a battery charger. So if you have the room to keep them, hang on to them. If not, it's not that big of a deal. They're easy to make. Okay, so my next project is I want to make the repair tool. There it is. You need magnesium, crashfish sulfuric powder. That's a little bit tricky. That's the hardest thing so far. and more titanium. Okay, so magnesium is something you make. So go to your basic materials. Magnesium. You need 3 times salt deposit. So that's something we were looking for the fish. So now I got to go back out and get 3 of those. Crash fish powder you get from the crash fish. Alright, so let's go searching. Your crash fish are dangerous. I got my scanner in. Let me see if I can scan these. Alright, so I can scan these mushrooms. And this will go into your data bank. You can scan fish. Sometimes it'll remember where you left off, so you could scan again. Like if you get 50%, it'll pick up at 50% when you catch up to it again or find another one. They're not that easy to scan sometimes, these things that want to run away from you. Alright, so rabbit ray. And that's not something you can catch in your hand. He's a little too big. Now, crash fish live in little nests within caves. And they're very dangerous. They can kill you. So you got to be careful how you aggravate them. Okay. Hey, there's some salt. Great, I need that. Oop, there goes a crash fish. I got too close. See, watch out for him. Whoa. He can kill you, so you got to, run the other way when you see him coming. So this is his nest. So he left behind an egg, and that's it. And I have no use for that egg right now. Alright, there's one over there. So I want to keep some distance. I got too close again. So this one left behind the powder. So now I'm in good shape. So there's a bunch of wreckage over here. I'm looking for salt, but anytime you pass wreckage, especially early game, you want to see if there's anything you can scan in there. This is how you can create some blueprints and make some new items. Okay, so right there, mobile vehicle bay fragment. So now I should have the beginning of a blueprint. So you go to blueprints, mobile vehicle bay. So I'm at 33%, which means I'm going to need to scan 2 more fragments. So you can make the Seamoth. And that's a nice little single-seater submarine. You go grab some air.
30 seconds.
See what else is down here. Sometimes you can get lucky and get a full blueprint from one crash site. Alright, I'm not seeing anything else scannable here. And you also want to look inside these little storage crates. Sometimes one side will be open. Oh, here's a lab counter. That's something that's just like for decoration purposes. So if you scan something that's made from titanium and you already have the blueprint, it will break it down and give you a couple pieces of titanium. Alright, so I think that's all I can get from here.
30 seconds.
Oh, I see something. Alright, so that crash fish did a lot of damage to me. You do regenerate some health, especially if you're at high food and water levels, you regenerate health faster. But right now I'm going to take that health kit. That does 50% heal. Also, something you need to remember is to save frequently. This game doesn't have an auto save feature. If I was to quit the game right now without a save, it'd be completely gone. Okay, I can see an item right here. More of the mobile vehicle bay. And I see some salt. See that guy over there? He's very dangerous. You don't want to go anywhere near him. There's a stalker over here. Here's a sea moth fragment. Salt. Nope. Nope. Oh, there's two of them.
30 seconds.
Alright, I'm running out of air, but I see a couple more pieces of salt here I really want. Wow, there's a lot of these around. I don't know if I can fight him off with a knife or not. Those guys can even damage your vehicle when you make the sea moth.
Oxygen.
Gotta be real careful. Alright, let's get back. We can make a repair tool. So my food and water is getting low. I'm going to drink my last water. And I'm going to eat one of these cured peepers. I have enough salt where I can make some more water that I'll have left over after the repair tool. Grab another health kit. Alright, so I need to make magnesium. There it is, repair tool. Alright, while I'm here, I'm going to make a couple more waters. I got to make the bleach from the salt and coral samples. Alright, let's put in our repair tool. There, now the pod's fixed. Now it won't drift anymore. And we'll fix the communication relay. This can get damaged again too, this pod.
A new message has arrived.
So if the pod gets damaged again, it's apt to drift on you. So you want to keep an eye over here to see if it has any, it'll show if it has any kind of damage.
Playing message.
This is an automated bounce back from the Aurora mining vessel. Your distress signal has been received. An emergency relief team will be dispatched to your location. Estimated arrival time 9 hours.
Okay, so that's pretty much the basic equipment that you're going to need just to get started. You know how to make food and water. You have your scanner tool. Your pod's repaired. So now you have a lot of time. There's no rush to do anything. So you can explore at your own leisure. If you want to go fast, slow, it's all up to you now. Just go out there and explore. I'm probably going to make another video and just pick up from here where I left off and just get into some of the slightly more advanced items and do some exploring. So see you next time, and thanks for watching. Remember to save when you quit. There's no auto save on exit, so you don't want to lose all your work.